What's the topic? Free chat. There is no topic. I'm here to just chat for a little while. I need to do some more work with editing my podcast later. And I need to get online because I need to answer some emails. I'm looking for a social media manager and a YouTube expert to help me. So I have to answer some emails about that. But let's get somebody on stage. Let's talk to Jack for a minute, and then Kate, I'll bring you up after I talk to Jack, okay?
Hello.
Hello, Jack. How are you, my friend?
Pretty good. Thank you. What about you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I can't complain. How are things in Turkey today?
Same old, actually. There's nothing new.
Same old, same old?
Yeah, same old.
Yeah, all right. Did you have something you wanted to talk about with me today, or you just want to chat?
Actually, I do have just one quick question.
Okay.
I was just researching about some paragraphs in English language to improve myself because I hate reading books. I don't know, I find it really boring. So instead, I just want to read a short paragraphs. I think it'll be better.
Okay.
But I don't know which site should I use or from where should I get them.
Well, that depends on what you're interested in reading about.
And overall, I think.
Well,
I read about everything.
I think I might suggest. Well, let me check something. One moment. So I think that I would suggest a couple of things for you. Sometimes I read podcasts. Right now, granted, those are discussions, but you know, I think I've told you before, most American podcasts, especially the big ones, they all have a transcript that you can usually find easily.
Yeah.
Many of the times it's right on the site, right? So both TED Talks and NPR, well, NPR is a good one because actually TED Talks are even on NPR. NPR has a lot of podcasts that I listen to. Jack, I would say about maybe half my day in the background, I listen to NPR while I'm doing my work. And they have so many good podcasts with interviews with people about different things, culture and music and travel. And, you know, like Rick Steves is this guy who's a famous travel guy who wrote lots and lots of books, mostly about traveling in Europe. And he's brilliant. He's been on TV for decades. You know, he's got travel shows and tons of books that he's written about that kind of thing. He's great. He's interesting to watch. It's very relaxing kind of background stuff. But there are lots of shows and podcasts on NPR that I like to both read and listen to sometimes, you know. One is called Science Friday. If you like science, it's a good science show. They also have one called This American Life that I like, which is kind of like an interview show of, you know, random people in America. So I find lots of good stuff on NPR, for sure. Then there are a bunch of history websites I belong to, and I like history a lot, so I read a lot about history, you know, or culture, you know. So what I would say, Jack, is I without knowing exactly what you're interested in, I can't really give you too many specifics. But I also would say that I really think that you need to reconsider the book thing, because I really think it just matters about which book you're reading. There are some books that are much, much more difficult to read than others. And it depends on the format of the book, you know. There's a guy named Tom Standage that I really like. He writes a bunch of books about history and culture and the different things that have interacted together to make, or I should say the ways that different cultures have interacted together throughout history. He writes, there's a great book he has called The Edible History of Humanity. And that's a very easy read. You know, it's not very long, and you could just do, you know, a chapter a day, and that's, you know, like a short article, essentially, you know. And I think that his writing is very interesting. It keeps me interested, you know. Now, there are other books that are painful for me to read, you know, like,
Yeah.
I will never be able to finish War and Peace, no matter how good it is. You know, it's just too damn long, you know, and no, I think that there's something to that, you know. Society's attention span has sped up, and that is, there are studies now that they've shown that show that students in school now have a very difficult time reading entire books, you know.
Yeah.
Which could become a problem, you know.
I've never read a book.
You've never read any book?
Yeah.
Jack, you're too smart for that. You need to start figuring out how to fix this problem.
I don't know. They're really boring. I don't know. It's really
Jack, come on. Wait. In the history of mankind, how many books have been written? Billions. Right? Many, many, many. And you're telling me that all of them are boring?
Absolutely not.
Right. Absolutely not. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, man. So you just have to be a little bit more selective. You know, I think that the problem might be just the fact that you're not finding the right books that are not interesting enough to you or not written to your style. But also, audiobooks. Get audiobooks, man. That's still reading. In a way, you know, you don't have to do the reading yourself. You know, I love when I go for a drive, I put on an audiobook. You know, podcasts and audiobooks, those are great ways to you know, read without reading. You know, so, but seriously, Jack, seriously, you're one of the brightest you know, guys I've got on my streams. You know, you ask me really bright questions, and it's obvious to me that you really like to learn.
Thank you.
So I would say that as a teacher with many, many years of experience, I think it would be a tremendous shame if you didn't figure out how to solve this problem. If you just ignored it or tried to just, you know, go around it, rather than go forward with it. You're too smart for that.
I don't know. My interests. I'm interested about universe, plants, psychology, physics, math, everything around the world, food.
Okay, well, guess what I'm going to do? Oh, I know what you could do. I have a special gift for you, Jack, as one of my best followers. Send me a private message, and in universities around the world, there are many, many courses that they use these short little books called Oxford Introductions. Oxford Introductions. And they're a great series of books like the Oxford Introduction to Psychology, or the Oxford Introduction to Machiavelli, or the Oxford Introduction to, politics. And these are short little books that are about 100 pages long, and they explain everything you really need to know to have a basic understanding of that concept. And they're great. And I have about 80 of them digitally, and I'm willing to give you some of them. I'm going to go through. You tell me what you're interested in. I'm going to find some, and I'm going to send them to you.
All right.
I have a huge library on my phone.
Okay.
So, And then I'm going to go through some of my other books and see, you know, if I can find something that might be interesting to you. But I want you to try to, Jack, you know, when you say this to me, it reminds me a lot of when young people today, many of them, when they hear jazz music, they say, well, I don't like jazz music. That sounds so old. And I understand why they say that, because the quality of the recordings from the 1960s were far different than the sound that we use now. And so your ears as a young person, you're just not used to it. But you're approaching it the wrong way. Books and music are time machines. The closest that we will ever get to having a time machine is a book. You can read Plato's The Republic, which is a great book, by the way. I love that book because Plato's The Republic is all just in dialogue form. So it's basically you're reading a book about a bunch of guys arguing about a subject. And so it's really interesting to hear, like, they're all trying to argue with each other about different ideas and say, you know, well, what about this? But what about this? But I think this. And it's really kind of interesting to see it in a dialogue format like that, like a person to person argument, you know? And yeah, when I read that, I can imagine, you know, these group of Greek philosophers sitting around in a room drinking some wine, arguing about logic and arguing about politics and government. And, you know, it takes me there, right? Like, I can actually imagine that spot. And it's such an amazing thing that the words I'm reading have been around for that long. That I'm reading something that was written, you know, 1,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. And books are certainly something like that... What was that?
Certainly like a time machine.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. It's like a time machine, you know, and it's affecting life for that long. Mm-hmm. It's amazing that's when you put something down. That's why I'm writing my own book, because I know the power of that maybe I'll be gone one day, but my words might still be here.
Yeah.
You know?
There's an idiom in church, but I don't remember that says, söz uçar yazı kalır. That means the words fly up, but the words stay.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah. It's also why I like teaching, because we have a saying about that too, is you never know where the influence of a teacher ends. Yeah. You know, so I might teach something and you'll know that thing now, and then 50 years from now you'll tell that thing to somebody else who will tell that thing to somebody else 50 years later. You know? And again, like, look at Plato and Socrates. The ideas that they had are still majorly influencing society around the world. You know,
maybe going to stay for 1,000 years.
That's exactly right. They will never go away so long as that information is still around. That's also how I feel about jazz music. Now, when young people hear jazz music and they just hear the sound quality, that's what they focus on, is the sound quality. What I usually tell them is, you need to go see one really good real live jazz performance in a jazz club somewhere. Mm-hmm. You need to have that real experience of sitting in a room, you know, a dark, like I used to go in my city. There was a club called the Blue Wisp, and it was a classic jazz club that had been around for many, many, many years. They have a new place now, but the old place is gone, unfortunately. But it was this basement that you would walk down into in this office building downtown in the city, and it was dark. It was very dark in the room, and they had these little coffee tables with little red candles on them, and you would sit down at your coffee table, and there was a little stage, and all the walls were painted black because it was a dark room that was, your attention is supposed to be on the stage, right? So when they put the lights on the stage to see the musicians, that's the only thing that's going on in that room. If you go to a jazz club, that is not the place to take your girl to have a conversation. You know, once the music starts, you got to shut your mouth and be polite, you know, and understand that the people who are in that room are there to see the performance. So if you're talking, you're that's very rude, right? But when you have that feeling, it's dark and the music comes on and it's very intimate and you're 10 feet away from these guys on the stage who are creating this brilliant music. Then you have the experience of what that means. Then when you listen to the old records, you're transported to that same place.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's different. Now it's different. And that's why, Jack, sometimes there's a great group I like to encourage people to check out. So if you think you don't like jazz music, there's a group called Post American Jukebox. Post American Jukebox. Yeah, Post American Jukebox. And they are a really interesting group. They perform modern pop songs, right? So they perform songs from all the famous people who are current, but they perform them in the style of music from the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. So they transform new songs into an old style, and then they use modern recording techniques so that it sounds more like what you're used to, right? Let me see if I can show you one really quickly. Let me see if I can pull one up here, and I'll show you. One moment. Because I love this group. Oh, not post-American. I said post-American. It's postmodern. Postmodern jukebox. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, change that. Postmodern jukebox. And postmodern is one word. Okay? So, for example, let's see if I can find the song. Can you guys hear that? No, not yet. Okay, wait a minute. Let me share my screen so you can hear that. Let's see. I'm looking for a song that you might know. Have you guys ever heard of the song All About That Bass? I'm all about that bass, about that bass, about that bass. I'm all about that bass. You guys know that song? I can't remember who wrote it, but there's a pretty famous version of that one they do on here. Let me show it to you really quickly. Hopefully you guys can hear it, because sometimes the Hello Talk share doesn't work properly.
Nothing dims my...
Okay, one moment. Let me get through the commercial and get it ready, and I'll share. Skip ad. Okay, here we go. No thanks. Okay, and they also, all of the people who are in the show, so Postmodern Jukebox is not just a group of like 4 or 5 guys. It's a group of like 40 or 50 people. And they all work together to create various small groups, like a project where they say, well, we're going to do this song and we're going to do it in this style. And then they choose who's the best musicians for that group, and then they perform together. And they also dress in the clothes of the style of that day, too. So let's take a look at it very quickly here. Share. All right, please tell me if you guys can hear it or not. Hopefully you can. But why does it sound weird? What is wrong with Yeah, Hello Talk. Let me try one more time. Let me see. Share screen. Share tab audio. To share audio, share screen instead. Share system audio. Let's see if that works. Yeah. I don't know why. Something's wrong with Hello Talk. It doesn't sound good, does it? Oh, yeah. It's even feeding back. That's not good. Well, that didn't work. there's a problem whenever I share Hello Talk screens. I can share the screen just fine, but the audio is always, there's a problem with the audio, and I don't know why. I need to talk to them about that and figure it out. Okay, but let's do this. Let me mute it and see if I can just play it, just so you can just see for a second what they look like. Okay, and you'll see that it's young people from this modern age, but they are performing old style, dressed in an old style. So, like the girls and the guys, they're all wearing clothes like suits and dresses from that era. And it's really, really good. They sing in that style. So I always encourage people, if you think you don't like jazz music, go check out Postmodern Jukebox and listen through to some of their songs, because I bet you'll like it. Because most of the time when people say they don't like it, it's because of the sound quality. Yeah. That's really it. It's just the sound quality. And maybe that lots of people, when they say jazz music, they don't realize how much there's so many different kinds of jazz music. They usually think of the kind of jazz music that's a little more advanced and harder for the average person to understand without any knowledge of music. But most of what this group does is very easy to understand, so you should check it out. And my point was just that music and books are such a great way to time travel. They're powerful, powerful things, man. And I don't want you to ignore that. That would be a big mistake on your part. There's far too much valuable information available to you at your fingertips to just say, oh, it's too boring for me.
Maybe the thing that made me bored from books is I don't want to read. I want to watch and see instead of telling me this truth, this information. I want to see them in real life.
Okay, I understand that, but Plato is dead. Albert Einstein is dead. Does that mean his words are not worth hearing anymore? No. And you know what, Jack? In the future, AI will do that for you. They're talking about that now already. They're talking about how AI might very soon be able to simulate people who have already died. So that if you want to talk to Albert Einstein and find out what he would think, they will upload every bit of Albert Einstein's works into an AI and train it to think like him and give it every bit of information that they know about him, and it will create a simulation of Albert Einstein so that you can talk to him about these things and he can explain these things to you like a personal teacher. But in the meantime, you have one very powerful, powerful tool available to you, Jack. It's called imagination. Yeah, man. Imagination. There is no CGI that beats imagination. Still. So, use it. Use it. Jack, I'm going to find some books. I'm going to send them to you. Okay? Now, they're digital books, which is not my favorite, because I really, really think that when you hold a book in your hand, there's something much more sacred about that. There's something more... the experience is different than just reading it on a screen, But nonetheless, if you like the book, then maybe you can try to find one to purchase, But I can give you some to check out, okay? And, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a book that I think you'll like, actually. It's actually, I have it right here. I have the new version on my digital copy, but it's a simple book, but not a simple book.
Simple, but not simple.
Yeah, take a look.
The way that things work.
Yeah. So this book is awesome. It talks about, like, for example, here's a little chapter that just talks about the tower crane, right? How does a tower crane work? And it shows you with diagrams and explanations, and it explains the science of all of that, right? Drills and augers, how does that work? And it explains it all with great little diagrams and pictures, right? And it has so many things: friction and floating and flying and pressure power and the carburetor and pens and refrigerators, and how do these things, rocket engines, how do these things all work, nuclear fission and fusion, and they explain them all within like 2 pages. So each one little idea is like 2 pages. You can do that.
Yeah.
This book is meant for you. Okay? And it's really well written. It's been around for quite some time. He explains paper making and sound and music and amplifiers and the record player. And I mean, every little page, it's just 2 pages to explain that concept. And then it goes to the next one, 2 pages. The next one, 2 pages. Right? So I think you can handle that. So I have a digital version of this. My gift to you for being such a loyal follower.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And again, I understand that you don't really like reading because it's not your favorite form of learning. And I used to subscribe to this idea that you should learn in the way that's best for you. But I changed my views about that now. I do think you should learn in the way that's best for you mostly. But I don't think it's a good idea to completely negate and devalue any other form of learning just because it's difficult for you. And as a matter of fact, the difficulty in that represents something that you need to improve.
Yeah.
Right? So just because you learn better when someone shows you doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to learn by reading. Right? And you need to remember that it's kind of like developing as a fighter, right? If you're a fighter, you need to learn many different punches and maybe some kicks and maybe some throws, and you have to do defense and offense. You can't just do offense. You also need to do defense. And you know, so it's like that. Like, would I be a successful fighter, boxer, if I only learned offense?
No.
No, you have to learn defense also, even if you don't really like it. You have to do it, right? So consider that you're developing yourself as a fighter when you're developing your brain as a learner. And so, sure, do the things that you're really good at, but, it's like, Jack, reading music is not my favorite thing to do as a musician, practicing reading music. But I have to do it, and I do it. Because I recognize it's a weakness. If you really want to be good, man, you have to focus on your weaknesses, not on your strengths. Anybody can focus on their strengths. But the people who are truly good, you think they don't even have any weaknesses because they focus on them. Okay? So I'm going to try to help you with this problem. I'm going to give you some books. And I want you to just try to change the way that you've been thinking about books, okay? If you convince yourself that books are not good, then they're not going to be good. But if you can change the way you think about things and remember that the adaptability of our mind is one of the reasons why we still exist as a species, right? Evolution and adaptation, right? So having a rigid viewpoint about things might get you killed 10,000 years ago. Right? And so you need to start to understand that that's still true today. Having too rigid of a viewpoint about things, I don't want to do this because this. Okay, I understand, but just understand what that means, though. You're declaring a weakness as something you can't overcome. Don't do that. Go ahead. You were saying? I think I.
I don't know, maybe we're not used to read books because of the teachers that taught us how to read, or the books that they offered to us.
Yeah,
I've never read a book, so maybe this is a different
I
thing
think you need
altogether.
to change that. I think you need to
Mhm.
change that. I think you'll feel better about yourself when you say, I have read a book. Okay?
Mhm.
And try to imagine a world, Jack, where nobody read any books. Can you imagine that world? It's not a world I want to live in.
Yeah.
Think about all that knowledge that's there, man.
Mhm.
Not even just knowledge. You know, some of my favorite books when I was younger were fantasy adventure books. They were stories like The Lord of the Rings, you know, and there was an author I really liked. His name was R.A. Salvatore, and he wrote adventure books about dwarves and elves and barbarians and warriors and fighters and castles and dragons and all these kinds of things. And I really loved losing myself in those stories in those new worlds. It was like transporting myself to another land.
Yeah.
And again,
So,
I think you also need to remember that reading is also one of the surest and best ways to engage and improve and practice your imagination.
certainly. You can imagine by reading.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Imagination is critical to reading. So there are some people in this world who don't have a great imagination, and I almost guarantee that they're also not great readers.
Mhm.
And I imagine that you are not one of those people. You do have a good imagination, so you just need to figure out how to engage it more. And you need to understand that imagination needs stimulation. You have to use
Yeah.
it. You have to use it, engage with it. Okay? And I understand you don't have to like everything, right? The Old Man and the Sea. It's a boring ass book. It's a short book, but it's boring. It's boring. And you know,
Mhm.
I don't want to read it, you know?
Yeah.
But there are some books that are worth putting your time into. Yeah, transporting yourself. Remember, you're transporting yourself back in time or to another land or to another viewpoint.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm. We could say books are like a bridge between past
They absolutely
and
are.
now and
Yeah. Yeah, they're a bridge to the past. They're a bridge to other worlds. They're a bridge to other ideas, other dimensions, other views.
imaginations.
Yeah. They are. Consider a book to be imagination practice. Maybe that's what you should do.
Mhm.
Think of it as something completely different than you are. I think you're thinking of books as being like this torturous thing that you have to do. But I think you need to start thinking them more like a bridge, like a time machine, and like imagination practice. And remember, think of all the people who you admire and consider how important reading was to them becoming that person.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah. Are biographic books good or not?
Well, it depends on the biography. You know, one of my favorite books is a book called Miles, and it's about it's the autobiography of Miles Davis. He was a great jazz trumpet player in American music, and his life story was fascinating. Like the opening chapter, he's talking about his earliest memory as a boy, and he can remember. Now, remember, this is a jazz musician, and he's one of the most famous jazz musicians for one very important reason. He was always breaking new ground. He was always doing something different and taking chances, right? Risks, right? And his earliest memory is of being in I think it was his mother's kitchen or his grandmother's kitchen, and they had a gas stove, right? And a gas stove, and he was a little boy, and he saw that blue flame on the gas
Yeah.
stove, right? And he remembers as a boy, he reached up and he put his hand out to go touch the flame, and he got closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And right before he got to the flame, his mother came over and said, "Don't do that."
You know, the same was for me.
Oh, well, then there you go. You have something in common with Miles Davis. and
Yeah.
and that one story is an analogy for his entire life, reaching out to try to get as close to the flame as possible. You know?
Yeah.
And I was hooked. As soon as I read that, I was like, oh, wow, that's deep. That's deep. I like this already. Let's keep going. And there are so many stories, and some of them are dark, and some of them are, weird or crazy. He had a very strange life, but he was such an important and interesting man. And he was a black guy, but his parents were relatively rich. You know, they grew. His father was a doctor, if I remember right. He went to Eastman School of Music. You know, he was well educated. He grew up, but he often performed with people who were not at all. You know, at that time, you have to remember that in America, not many black families had that existence.
Yeah.
You know,
What is his name? I wondered about him.
Miles Davis, and the book is called Miles.
I thought.
I'll give you a record too then, since you're interested in him and we're talking about music and jazz music and everything. One of the most famous jazz not one of it is the most famous jazz record of all time. It's sold more copies than any other record. It's called Kind of Blue. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. And it's a brilliant record. It's just beautiful to listen to. If you have like a lazy Sunday afternoon that's really chill and calm, put that record on.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that record will just take you to another place because it's so. It's hard for me. Like, if you tell me you don't like that record, I don't know if I can be friends. You know, it's like how is that possible, man? That's like saying you don't like the paintings of Van Gogh. You know, like, how?
Yeah.
He's brilliant. Look, it's just brilliant, you know? Starry Night is genius. You know, how can you say that you don't like that? You know, what's wrong with you? You know? So, yeah, I'm going to give you those things as a gift and see what you think, and you can tell me. Okay?
All right.
Send me a message to remind me so I don't forget.
All right. Thanks.
All right?
Thank you for taking me on
You're
stage
welcome.
today.
Of course, my friend. Of course. Come back anytime.
All right. Thank you.
And I'll tell you what. I'm going to stay on you. I'm going to stay on you until you finish a book. Okay?
Just one?
At least one. Yeah, I want you to at least be able to say, I did it. Okay? I want you to at least be able to say that you've done one book. You cannot be that smart and not be able to read a book, Jack. You just can't.
All right.
Okay? I think that it would be a tremendous I think in later in life you would feel like it was a tremendous disappointment and regret. And I don't want to allow that. Okay, well then let's solve that problem. Then I'll give you some books that'll be good for you, and you can check them out and see, and go from there. Okay?
All right. Thank you again.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for coming to talk to you. It was always a pleasure. I'll see you next time. Okay?
See you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Hello, Miguel. Hello, Gila. Hello, Mona and Cool and Charmaine. Or no, sorry, Charmin. And Ruslan. Hello, my friend. You have one small question to ask. What's your question, Ruslan? some of the books that I really like. You know, I always forget to do this. I need to sit down and really think about it and make a list of books that have influenced me in my life and that I think are worth reading. You know, I'm not going to try to say I'm the most well-read person of all time, but I do like to read, and I have a lot of books on my phone, and books give me a great sense of comfort. You know, knowing that I have the knowledge in my hands is powerful. You know? What are equivalent words for strength? Clout, courage, durability, firmness, fortitude. That's a good one. Tenacity, potency, robustness, vigor. It depends on exactly how you're trying to use. Oh, well, let's see. In terms of strong side of me on my job interview. Well, you can definitely say strengths. You can say your. Let me try this one more way. One moment. What's the word I'm looking for? One moment. Let me think. When you're using it in that form, you could say your skills, your abilities, your talents. So if you're describing certain abilities you have, then you can do it in that way. There are some words that are escaping my mind right now, but yeah. And you know what? I'll tell you what, Rosalind. You need to go to thesaurus.com and start using that website or download the app like I have here. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me send it to you. Let's see, App Store. Rosalind, do you use iPhone or Android? I just sent you a link. Oh, you're on Android. Okay, well, I sent you a link for the Apple Store version of the dictionary.com app that I use. It's dictionary.com and thesaurus.com in one app. Okay, it's free. Download it. I use the thesaurus every day. Every day. Okay? So download that and get that, and I think that will be tremendously valuable for you. Okay, because you are, it's very smart of you to think about alternate words in English. Okay, it's a very important part of being good with your language is choosing the right words, right? Being thoughtful with your language. And exploring a thesaurus is one of the great ways to improve your vocabulary. The word thesaurus means treasury. A thesaurus is a treasury of words. Okay, so I really think you should do that. Reading is hard for me as well, but I'm sure you can recommend some things you can start with. Sure, Mona. Again, I need to know a bit more about what you like, though, you know. Because the things that I like might not be the same as what you like, you know? Yeah, The Old Man and the Sea is one of those books that, like, it's easy. It's a good book to read as a beginner of English language because there's no difficult vocabulary in it. But even Hemingway himself, it's funny, in American English class in high school, we read that book and they talk about all the symbology and all the symbolism and the analogies and the, what does this mean and what does this mean and what does the fish mean and what does it mean when the sharks eat the fish and all these different metaphors, right? But Hemingway himself said, no. There are no metaphors. It's a book about an old man and the sea, and he catches a fish, and the shark eats the fish, and that's it. It's not about anything else. It's just about a man in the sea catching fish. I'll tell you something about being an artist, being a writer or a musician or anything. You must be prolific. Prolific. What does prolific mean? Do you guys know that word? Great word. Prolific. Take care, Belen. And hello, Gunter. I see you guys over here. I'll get to you guys in just one second. But nice to see you, Belen. To be prolific means to produce a lot of something. Okay? So to be a great artist, you must be prolific. Sometimes people think that I'm just going to write that one great song. But no, you have to write 100 terrible songs or 1,000 terrible songs before you find that one great song. So if you want to be a great writer and write the great book, then you have to write a bunch of terrible books before you write a good one. Okay, almost no one in the history of mankind has ever done something artistic the first time and been a genius. You have to be willing to be bad in order to be good. So that's called being prolific. Okay? Kill the monkey bird, or do you mean To Kill a Mockingbird? I think that's what you mean. To Kill a Mockingbird is a great book, great movie too, an old movie that's a great movie. Hatchet is a good one. I read that one later in life. One of my friends recommended it to me. He said it was one of his favorite books as a kid, so I read it. It was good. It was good. I like that one. I have it. Let's see. Animal Farm, that's a good one. That's much better. Yeah, I like that one. Blindness, I'm not sure about that one. I don't know that one. Yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird is a very famous book. And actually, that is one book that I think that was her first book that she wrote, and it just ended up being brilliant. But it does happen every once in a while, but not many people are like that. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Eugene. Hello, Musa. Is it Merceline? Hello, Mina. The app is thesaurus.com. Here, I'll write it here. One moment. Or no, go to dictionary.com, I think. Okay, you can go to the website, or you can go on the App Store or Google Play Store and find it. Okay? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I never read it. I've seen the movie. Okay, I'm sorry I missed a bunch of comments while I was talking to Jack. Let me back up and see if I can say hello to everyone. Okay. Kate, are you still there by chance? You're probably gone. You probably ran out of time. Kate Wanyi. Hello, Abhishek. And Dan and Phil. Thank you, MKK. Hello, Amgad and Milton. Milton has a question. English, Spanish students say in the night instead of at night. You can say both in the night or at night, but most people say at night, Milton. Most people say at night. Okay? Hello, Benaz. Hello, Alba. Hello, Rashid. Hello, Kun. Is there any other way to use my work? Kun, not right now. No. I have podcasts that you can listen to, but most of those will probably be blocked for you as well. 可是 Kun, 很多中国人他们可以看我的 YouTube。如果他们看，我觉得你也可以看。你需要用好特别的魔法。想一想，我觉得你可以啊。Hello, Lolo and Robbie. Hello, Anna. Hello, Susie and Robbie and Bailey and Shams. Hello, Abdul. Okay, I am going to get somebody else on the stage to talk with them. Just one moment, okay? Ruslan, what else did you ask me here? Which version of the Bible to read? Ooh, that's a hard one, to be honest with you, man. Because they all have been translated so many times and rewritten and edited and sometimes manipulated. So, Ruslan, let me think about that. I think that sometimes if that's what you're interested in reading, then it might actually be better to read a historical guide of the Bible based on the translations that have happened and the things that were happening at the time when they were written. Because I think that you need to understand how it was written, how the Bible was written, who wrote it, when it was written, when was it rewritten, when was it translated, when was it rewritten again, who rewrote it, why they rewrote it. All of those things kind of matter. Okay? Send me a private message about that. I think it's more appropriate to talk about that one in private, okay? Because of the rules here on Hello Talk, all right? All right. Hello, Islam. Hello, Tanya. And Tanya, I still like fantasy books too. I just don't have much time to read them anymore. I have like 5 of them that I bought on my iPad that I haven't had a chance to read. I'm too busy. I have too many things on my plate all the time. Text quality of English. Again, the King James Bible is the one that's most famous here in the West, but I don't know if I would say it's necessarily the best. And I think that it matters. I think you need a historical understanding of it, not just a straight reading of it. Okay? Yeah, send me a DM. All right? Okay, let's see. Hello, Raphael. I'm glad the links helped you. Good for you. Hello, Gunter. On the road again. On the road again. Great song from Willie Nelson. Oh, no. You got some stitches from... Oh, they forgot a couple of stitches. Oh, no. Well, I hope it is okay. Lolo says, I learned during my English journey that I should make language a lifestyle. I like that. Yeah, that's what I try to teach everybody, is that learning should be a lifestyle, not just learning language. Learning. If you want to learn, make it part of your daily life. And consider how much of your life do you spend trying to distract yourself. Okay? to me, if your life is based on work, 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 and then relax, relax, relax because you work, 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 and you're not focusing ever on development of yourself and learning about the world you live in and improving and evolving as a human being, that's kind of the life of a slave. That's why they made slaves work so much, because they didn't want them to have any time or energy to improve so they can maintain power over them. Think about that a little bit, everybody. So rather than turning on the TV or movies or video games and spending too much time, a little time doing that for relaxation, of course, is okay. But how much of that time are you spending that's stealing time from your life, rather than focusing on trying to create a learning environment for your entire life about everything that you should learn? History and science and math and languages and culture and, you know, all of these things that actually matter. You may think they don't matter, but again, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Do we really change our characteristics when we change the language we use? Somewhat, Derek. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Hello, Eugene. Hello, Paula. La La Land is a beautiful movie. I have not seen it. I should, though. Thank you, Eugene Marie. I'm glad you like my podcast. Why do I love Chinese people? I love people. Zarag, I don't love Chinese people. I love people. So if you live on planet Earth and you're a human being, then I have the potential to appreciate you. I'm not really that big on countries, okay? If I go to the moon and I look at the world, I can't see any of those lines. So when I think of the Earth, I don't think of maps. Those are man-made lines that are not of any value to me. I appreciate cultures. I appreciate humanity. Okay? Islam, I forgot you. How did I forget you? What do you mean? Did you raise your hand or something? I'm sorry, I didn't see. I got too many people talking to me at the same time. You listen to audiobooks more than you often read. Yeah, I know, but that's okay. I think that's okay. I think reading is good, but I think your audiobooks are good still too. Okay? I'm good, Amgad. How are you? All right, I caught up with the comments. Raise your hand if you want to come talk to me. There were some people who were waiting, and I didn't get a chance to talk to them. I'm sorry. If you want to know more about me, you can go to my Linktree right here. Go to my Linktree and you will find my website. You can get private lessons from me on my website. Okay? Not for free, but you can buy private lessons from me, and I'm a good teacher. I care about what I do. I can help you. I promise you. Okay, so go to my Linktree if you want private lessons. You can go to my website, right? Or you can go to my new podcast. You can go listen to my podcast. It's on Spotify. It's on Podbean. It's on iHeartRadio. And you can listen to my podcast. You can go to my YouTube channel where I have many, many, many videos on YouTube. Okay, you can go to my Hello Talk. You can go to my Facebook. All of those are on my link tree, so go to my link tree. Let's get Amgad on stage for a few minutes.
Hello.
Hello, Amgad. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. Although the audio is still giving me a problem. Let me send a message about this very quickly. One moment.
And your side.
Yeah, there's some problems. Hello Talk's been having some audio problems recently on the live streams, and I need to tell them about it before I forget.
All right.
So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can make a recording and let them hear you. So do me a favor, Amgad, and just talk for a minute so they can hear what it sounds like.
Okay. Yes, let me introduce myself. First of all, thanks a lot for being I'm here in this stage. I'm here and I'm gonna ask you because I would like to take an IELTS test. I think it is opening broad opportunities for me in my life. So there are many problems facing me. One, I'm gonna to have this test. So can you please help me?
Okay, so you want to take the IELTS test? Okay. So have you made a plan to take it yet? Have you scheduled it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. Yeah. So what I usually tell people is you should schedule it about 6 months to 1 year in advance. All right, because you need at least 6 months to study properly for this test. It's a very difficult test. Okay, prepare yourself well. All right, so that's one. Schedule it 6 months to a year later and start working on it now. Step two is you need to get some good books that'll help you study. Okay? There are 3 companies that I like. One is called Kaplan. The other one is called Barron's. And, whoops, let me try that again. And the other one is Cambridge. All 3 of these companies make very good study books for the IELTS test or the TOEFL test. Get one if you can, okay? Those books are written to help you pass the test. They tell you everything you need to know. They give you practice tests. There's lots of great information in those books, okay? So if you can get those books, okay? You don't have to get all of them. Just choose one company. Choose one company. If you like Barron's, then get Barron's and buy 1 or 2 of the books for the IELTS test, because they have a study book and they have a workbook. Okay?
Okay. So I have many different companies. What does it mean?
Yeah. If you work on those, then yeah, that'll help you with your test score for sure. Also, what I would tell you is focus on your weaknesses. Okay, so most students, they work on their strengths, right? So if you're a good talker, then you keep working on your speaking. But that's not the way it works. If you really want to pass a test, you have to focus on your weaknesses, not on your strengths. You're already good at that thing. You got to improve the thing that you're bad at, right? So make a plan to improve that, okay? My students, when I teach privately, I have 8 different areas that I work on with them. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking. So reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Those are the 8 areas that I work on with my students, okay? And what you should do is think about those 8 areas and think about, how can I make a plan to work on my reading? How can I make a plan to work on my writing? How can I make a plan to work on my grammar and my vocabulary? You need a plan, okay, for each one of those areas, right? If you can get a teacher, I'm an English teacher, but I don't specialize. I don't specialize in the IELTS test, but I have a few friends. That's what they do. They are IELTS test prep teachers, right? They will prepare you for the test. If you can afford to get, even if I'm sorry.
In your point of view, working randomly with my self-study, can help me better, or just I have to get a tutor, a private course with Islamic who can help me and put me on
Of course,
the right step.
you can do it by yourself, but it's like asking, can you climb a mountain without a guide? You can, but it'll be a lot easier with a guide.
He's with the guys.
Yeah, that's what a teacher is. Teachers are guides. Okay, so you can do it by yourself, but a teacher might have a lot of tricks and tips and ideas that will make it easier for you. Okay.
Yes, I understand.
So,
but do you think that 6 months to 1 year, it is a big time, I think?
It is, but it's a difficult test, and that test is very important, right? So, for example, I also like to compare it. Sometimes I compare this test to the bar exam. Do you know what the bar exam is? The bar exam, that's a test to become a lawyer. If you want to become a lawyer, then you take the bar exam, right? And it's one of the most difficult tests in the world, and you have to prepare a lot for it. And most lawyers do not pass it the first time. Most lawyers, they have to take it many times before they pass it, right? So I think you need to prepare for this test that same way. That's another piece of advice that I give my students is I tell them, take the test more than one time. So maybe you can schedule it twice. Try to take it maybe 3 months from now. You can take it 3 months from now, but just understand 3 months is a short period of time to prepare for that test. So that means that the first time you take it will just be a practice test. Okay, it's just like it'll just get you to you'll see what the test is like. You can get familiar with it. You'll be comfortable with it. You'll see what you need to expect. Right then, that's right. Then schedule the next test for 6 months or 1 year later, and really work on it. Then you should do really, really well. And I understand. I know it's expensive. I know you need to spend money to take the test. But I always tell people, remember how important this test is. If you get a good score on this test, well, it can be. It depends on your life. If you want to get a better job, it's important. If you want to if you want to travel, it's important. If you want to study in the United States, it's important. So it depends on what your goals are. If your goals are just to have good English, then it's not that important. But if you want to leave the country, or you want to travel, or you want to get a better job that involves English, then it's very important.
It depends on which areas that you are going to work with.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Is it for everybody? No, not everybody needs to. But if you're serious about learning and you're serious about your career in English, then yes, it's important.
Okay. Last question. Sorry for taking a lot of time.
It's okay.
Can you give me a tips and hints on the main basic steps of pronouncing correctly?
Yes. So what I want you to do is get a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, across the top of the paper, I want you to write 10 words in English that are difficult for you to say. Think about your language and think about which words are difficult for you to say. Like maybe it's a word with the R sound in it, and many Arabic speakers have a difficult time with the American R sound. Or maybe it's the TH or the V or the S, whatever. Write those words on the top of the paper, right? Then I want you to look at those words and figure out, what is it about that word that's difficult for me? Is it which sound is it? The R, the TH, the S, the V, whatever. Then I want you to go online and do a search on Google and find all the other words that sound like that word. Any other word that has the same sound in it. And write it down underneath. Write it down. So when you're finished, you'll have one piece of paper that will have 10 rows of words. And all of these words will be words that you can practice every day to improve your pronunciation. Okay? That's what I call your target accent improvement list. Target accent improvement list. So 10 words across the top, then make 10 rows of other words that have the same sound that are difficult for you. and then practice those. Keep that in your pocket every day and open it up and look at those words and practice saying them. And you can go online and you can find, type in that word in Google and they will show you American pronunciation and British pronunciation. You can click on a recording and listen to someone and they'll speak it for you so that you can hear it. Okay?
Yes. Okay. Thank you a lot, Mr.
You're welcome. You're welcome, my friend. It was my pleasure. And thank you for coming.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, take care. I'm God. I will see you next time. Make sure you follow and come back and see me again, okay?
Exactly. Definitely.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, I don't know why the sound is weird. So all of you guys heard that weird little delay, right? Hello, Ali. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Muhammad. Hello, Adonis. Hello, Rabbit. Yeah, the 8 areas of language I was mentioning was reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Okay, what if you want to interpret? If you want to interpret, then yes, the TOEFL or the IELTS are pretty important. Adonis Sanchez, if you want to be an interpreter, your level of language in 2 languages needs to be exceptional, not just okay. It needs to be quite good, okay? Jesus says, what is my advice for speaking fluent English? I understand 90%, but it's difficult for me to join a conversation. Spend more time thinking in English, Jesus. Okay? If you're not thinking in English, then you can't speak in English. Change the language you think in your daily life. That should be one of your number 1 priorities if you're trying to learn a new language. Okay? Whatever language you're trying to learn, think about how much time you spend thinking in a language all day. If you really want to improve your ability in a language, then you need to improve your ability to think in that language. That's the secret. Okay? And Aaliyah, same advice as Jesus. You can understand 90%, but you can't speak. Well, then you need to practice thinking. Okay? Adonis says, talk to people, struggle, get it wrong, start over. Eventually you'll get it right. I agree with that. But I still also think your mind is a language practice room. Use it. Your mind is a language practice room. You've got to use it. Can I tell can you tell about pilot speaking? What do you mean about pilot speaking? Do you mean the technical words used by pilots for flying? I have exceptional English, but my Spanish is getting very rusty, even though it's my first language. Well, Adonis, then spend some time thinking in Spanish and some time thinking in English, and you'll be fine. Okay? What about the examination certificate for competency of English, the ECCE? Whatever. A test is a test is a test is a test. I don't care. Okay? Your mom says you're crazy? Well, maybe. But some of the greatest ideas in the world were a little crazy. You mean about pronunciation? The word pilot? All right. Raise your hand if you want to come talk to me. Pilot has different pronunciation. No, it doesn't. Listen to me. The word is pilot. 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 It's the only present pronunciation of that word. It's not pilot. It's not pilot. It's not pillow. It's pilot. Yeah, the guy who flies planes. He's a pilot. That's the only pronunciation. Okay? I assure you. Okay, still looking for someone who wants to come talk to me. I'm surprised there's not many people here, only 53 people. I need to figure out better ways to get more people to come to my live streams. I really wish I could get everybody to share my live stream. That would be useful. You are sleeping. Are you Chinese, or where are you from? Azerbaijan. Oh, okay. It's pretty late there, but I don't think it's that late there. What time is it in Azerbaijan right now? 11 o'clock? Midnight? Moisa wants to talk to me. Let's talk to Moisa. Oh, okay. 21:43. All right. It's almost, that's not too late. It's not too late. I'm a night person, so. Moisa, do you want to come up and talk to me? Moisa, bonsoir. Hello, Moisa.
I want to talk to you. I want to get some advice from you.
Okay. Hello. Nice to meet you. Where are you from? I don't recognize your flag.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, yes. I'm from DRC. Of course, yes. I'm from DRC, Republic Democratic of Congo.
Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay. All right. Okay. And what can I do for you? How can I help you?
Yeah. Yes. I want to know. I want to get some advice from you because I need to speak really and be fluently like native speakers. What may I go to do?
Well, when you say you need to speak fluently like a native speaker, what do you mean? You sound pretty good right now. What's the problem?
You know, the way you are speaking, there is big difference. Like you are a native speaker. I want to be like you.
Moisa, the purpose of language is communication, right? So communication is about having good ideas and being able to express them. That's all. So when people talk about being fluent in a language, to me, that means you need to be able to think about it. If you can think about it, then you can say it. So language starts in the mind, and you need to start thinking in English more and try to listen to people who speak the way you want to speak. Okay? But I don't like the word fluent because it doesn't really mean anything. Right? What does fluent mean? How many words do you need to know to be fluent? Do you need to know about everything to be fluent? You know, I don't know about astrophysics, but I'm a native speaker and you think I'm fluent. So fluent is a bad word because it doesn't really help you to improve. It makes you think there's a stopping point, a finishing point, okay? But Moisa, You sound good. You have an accent, but it's a beautifully French African accent. So that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And you just need to spend more time trying to express yourself in English. That's all.
Thanks, teacher. Thanks, teacher. Apart from that, when I'm speaking to others, I used to look for words.
So do I. Everyone does that. Everyone looks for words. Okay, so then I would say continue to build your vocabulary. Continue to build your vocabulary. All right. But you're lucky. You're lucky because you speak French, and 30% of English words come from French. So you need to find more ways to build your vocabulary. Find more ways to build your vocabulary, okay? Go to my YouTube channel, and you can find lots of videos about how to improve your vocabulary, okay? Let me give it to you here. It's in the chat. Okay. If you go to that, you can find my YouTube, you can find my website, you can find my podcast. Okay. And you'll find lots and lots of tips about English. Okay. I teach about everything here in English. Okay. Anything.
Yeah. What's the title? The title on YouTube. On YouTube.
You can, here, I'll give it to you right here. That's my YouTube. AFIEC English.
Thanks so much, teacher.
You're welcome. And yes, please subscribe too. Please, yeah. Remember to support me. Subscribe.
Thanks. I wanna check it really.
Yeah. Well, there are many videos. You can watch that every day, and you'll get lots of great tips and good practice for your English. And I think that you need to listen to people who speak the way you want to speak. Right? Find people who speak really well and listen to them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thanks so much.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. So, Moisa, I'm going to let you go, but it was great to talk to you. Thank you for coming and talking to me, and come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Thanks, teacher.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And thank you, Yamada. Arigato. All right. What time is it? Almost 2 o'clock. I have just a little more time. So who else has questions for me? Anyone? Or want to come talk to me? Come talk to me. Come on. Come on up here. The topic is life. Life. Tanya, how dare you? How dare you? You've been watching me for a long time. Come on. Stop with the silliness. Stop with the silliness. How can you possibly be shy of me? No, no. Niet, niet. Let's talk to Ziad. Hello, Ziad.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm fine, thank you.
And Ziad, you're in, is that Jordan?
Yes, I'm from Jordan.
Okay. All right. And what city are you in Jordan?
In Erbil.
Ah, okay. Is that in the north or the south? Where is that?
In the north of Jordan.
Okay, in the north. All right, great. All right, and what can I do for you today? Do you have a question for me or something you want to ask me about or a topic you want to talk about?
Can you repeat that?
Do you have something that you want to ask me or do you have a topic that you want to talk about?
No, if you have answer any question
Okay.
For me.
What do you do, Ziad? What's your job?
I am an engineer, civil engineer.
Okay. All right. And what do you like to do for fun?
I'm playing tennis.
You like to play tennis. Okay. All right. All right. What else do you like to do for fun? Play tennis and...
Some sports, gym,
Okay.
and walks.
You like to work out? Okay.
Walk.
All right. And
Yes.
Tell me, what is your favorite food in Jordan? Falafel, baba ganoush, hummus?
Hummus, falafel,
Yeah. Which one is your favorite?
mansaf.
Ah, okay. All right. And who cooks that for you? Your wife?
Yes, my wife.
Yeah. Is she a good cook?
Yes.
That's good. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
And tell me, what kind of foreign foods do you like? Pizza, pasta, hamburgers.
Hamburger.
You like hamburgers? Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So why don't you ask me some questions now, Ziad?
I don't have any question for you.
Okay. All right. Well, then give me a topic. Give me a topic that you want to talk about. Food, music, travel, culture, history.
Culture.
Culture. Okay. All right. So tell me, what is one important part of your culture that you're proud of?
Again, please.
Tell me one part of your culture that you are proud of. Or tell me, what is something that I should know if I come to Jordan? What is something about your culture that I should know? What should I know about your culture? Think about it. Think about it. Come on. It's not that hard. You can do it.
I can do it.
Okay, well then guess what? That's your homework for next time, Ziad. Okay? For next time,
Okay.
I want you to think about your culture and come back and tell me something important about your culture that you want to tell me about. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming on my stage, Ziad. It was nice to talk to you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So I'll see you next time then, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me ask you guys a question. Is the sound quality still strange? My sound sounds okay, but what about when I have someone on stage? Is the sound a little strange for you? It's strange for me. No, it's very good. Okay, that's weird. In my headphones, I hear there are two of him. There are two of him. So give me one moment, everybody. I want to try to leave the room and come back to the room, and I want to see if that changes my sound, if that makes it better, okay? So don't go anywhere. You stay there. I'm going to leave and come right back, okay? Can you hear me now and see me now? No voice. How about now? No? Okay, wait. Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello? No? Wow. Well, that's not good. Flavia, you can hear me. Yeah, see, something's wrong with Hello Talk. Wait one more time. How about now? Can you hear me now? Now you can? Yes? Okay, yeah, see, there's some weird things going on with Hello Talk. Some weird things. I don't understand. I'm trying to talk to them about it and fix all these problems, but there's so many problems. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, Islam wants to come talk to me. Let's talk to Islam, and we'll also get Muhammad up here too. Hello, Islam. And I meant to get Muhammad, but hello, Zizzo and Islam. Oh, now this is even better. Now I can't hear you. Yeah, the more updates, the weirder it gets. I agree. Yeah, their updates are not going very well recently. So now I see both of you guys on my stage. Your camera is off, but I cannot hear either of you. Can you guys hear them? You can't see me? Okay, so yeah, look how weird it is, right? So some of you can hear them. You can hear me. Zizzo and Islam, can you say something?
hear you.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
I heard someone. Was that you, Zizzo?
Oh,
And there's Islam.
but I can't see you.
You
I don't know
can't
what's
see
going
me.
on. Yeah,
I don't understand that. I don't know why.
like everything is dark.
Okay, and now somebody says they can hear but they can't see me. What about in the audience? In the audience, can you guys see me?
That's so funny.
Yeah. Hello Talk has some really weird things happening. You can't see me, but you could see me before when they were not on stage.
yeah.
You could see me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So weird. Let me tell them about this very quickly. Just give me one moment.
Take your time.
They can hear me. But not see me. Okay. Hopefully that will help. I have a couple of people who work for Hello Talk that I talk to directly about all of these problems. Because I can see me. I can see my video
I
on,
can see you.
but you can't
But
see
like-
me. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
weird.
You're like a ghost right now.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand. Let me try to
I
see.
can see you.
Let me try to
Can see
turn.
your-
I'm going to turn my camera off and back on. How about now? Can you see me now?
Oh yeah. No.
No?
No.
Still no.
I can send you an application. You know.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Oh.
Well,
Just
yeah, there's a
first
big
delay.
there's a big glitch. That's right.
Mm.
Well, I guess you're going to have to talk to a black screen today, guys. So,
That's okay.
yeah, so both of you are in Egypt. So you're neighbors.
Yeah.
Both
I guess yeah.
yeah, you and Islam and Zizzo, you guys are both neighbors, I think. So, see, look, you guys need to do this more often. There are many people that you can practice English with in your city. You just have to find them. Zizzo, are you in Cairo? You're in Giza. Oh, and now I can't hear you again.
Holy shit.
So weird. Okay, it's going in and going on, and it's on and off and on and off. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I can see that I can see your subtitles, right? So I saw it say, "No, I'm in Giza," but then I couldn't hear you. So weird.
That is so hilarious.
Yeah. Well, do me a favor, everybody. If you guys are in my audience right now, Hello Talk will pay more attention to these problems if you send them a message. You know, and tell them, you know, hey, I love Teacher Mark's live stream, but there are so many problems with video and audio recently. And they'll give more attention to it if more people talk to them about it. Okay? So, yeah. I don't know what's going on. But, oh well.
Almost when your live stream like that, you know, have a delay, have some problem. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't either. You know, I'm not sure. I know it's difficult to do this kind of thing. The reason why it's difficult is because when you do a live stream, they have to make it work on so many different kinds of devices. Some people have iPhones, some people have Android, some people have new phones, some people have old phones, some people have, you know, other companies, you know, different Android phones, Samsung and Oppo and whatever, all these different companies, right? And every phone is a little different. So they have to make it work for so many different kinds. And I do my live stream on my computer, so it's not the same as if I did it on my phone. I think if I did it on my phone, it would probably not have so many problems, but then I don't get to use all my nice equipment. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
I think you mentioned it before, how to tell you that.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully they'll figure it out one day. Yeah. But anyway, did you guys have anything you wanted to talk about with me today?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What would you like to talk about? See, now I can't hear Zizzo anymore. I can see his comments though. You don't have a specific topic to talk about? Yeah, maybe it's. Yeah, I don't know. so difficult.
I have to show.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about music, food, culture, your culture, you know.
Okay, all right. Those are my favorite topics. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So first thing, I know you love food and you love cooking. So how did you learn cooking?
Mostly from my dad. My dad's a good cook. My dad likes to cook, and so he cooked most of the food when we were growing up. My mom cooked too, but I think my dad would cook the more complicated meals. You know. And he liked,
Like what?
all kinds of things. Like, I know when I was a boy, I remember he went to a Chinese cooking class. He took a Chinese cooking class to learn how to cook Chinese food. And he cooked many foods that were traditional foods from his childhood, you know. So his family is from Slovakia, so a lot of Eastern European foods and dishes. And so I think I learned mostly from watching him, but then when I was young, I also just tried cooking by myself. I think I was probably 11 or 12 years old when I first started cooking. And and I just like food. Food is like one of the best cooking. Cooking is one of the best things because when you finish, if you do well, you get to eat it. And so, you know,
exactly.
that's what I'm saying. It's like when you're successful, it's the greatest gift. It's a gift, you know, like you made something amazing and now you get to experience it. The only thing I hate cooking by myself. Because
But I guess you enjoy it when you're doing that. You enjoy what you're doing.
I absolutely. I enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah, I totally enjoy what I do. I love the process. It feels like meditation. Sometimes it's a bit stressful if you're in a rush, but when I don't have, when I'm not in a rush and I can take my time, I really enjoy the meditative quality of cooking. But when I cook by myself, it's kind of like when you go fishing by yourself. If you catch a really big fish, there's no one there to see it. And so it's like you can't celebrate like, wow, look at this amazing fish, you know? So when you cook something really, really amazing, there's nobody there to share it with. That's no fun. So I really like to cook for my friends and my family, and, you know, that's one of my favorite things to do is to cook for someone.
You should teach me how can I cook the someone.
Well, you know what? I'm planning on having a cooking show. I want to have a cooking show. But look how many problems we have with the video and the audio. Maybe I don't know if it will work or not. I'm going to try it. I think not tomorrow, but next week. Next week, I'm going to try my first cooking show on Hello Talk with my co-host, and I'm going to choose. I have one food. There's one food from Peru. One of my followers sent me a recipe from Peru, a Peruvian dish that looks really yummy and not too difficult. And I think I'm going to cook that one and maybe one other dish from another country. So if you want to, you can send me some recipes, some traditional recipes from your country. Don't just give me something on YouTube. Send me a real recipe from your family. You know, like I want something from your grandma or from your mother, you know, like a good recipe. I don't want just some guy on YouTube who does falafel. You know, like I want your grandma's recipe for falafel. You know, I want to know why hers is the best. You know, and then I'll try to make it and see if I can make it as well as you know, you do, and then we get to eat it here and try it. You know, so it's fun because I get to cook, I get to try new recipes, and I get to try new flavors and new foods that I've never done, and I love trying new foods too.
I would be elated to see you doing that, you know.
Well, then.
But I'm sure you're doing that. I'm sure.
I will. I just hope that we don't have too many technical problems. That's all. So it's a little complicated, you know, to try to bring all the equipment upstairs and try to do it with microphones and cameras and lights and all that. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try next week. Not tomorrow, but next week.
Do you know what, Teacher Mark? You're the only one I love in this app, you know. I love watching you. I love listening to you. And like you see, you have a lot of problems. So I hope you fix it, you know.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Islam. I know you're one of my favorite followers here, and you're one of my most loyal followers here, and I truly appreciate your support. I really, really do. It's one of the things I really like about this app is, to be honest with you, sometimes when I use this app, it can feel very draining because there are so many people who don't really know me and I don't know them, and they just want information from me. They just want my help from teaching, and that's okay. I understand. But what makes this app something that I really love is when I make real friends, when I have people who I feel like I know them and they know me, and you're spending time with me, you know? So when I see you and I see Belen and I see Gunter and I see Tanya and I see, you know, all these people who are always in my live streams, I feel like I have like a world family, you know, like a group of friends that are always there, you know, to watch me.
Yeah, we really love you so much, you know. I can spend 24 hours watching you, and I'm not gonna be boring or something like that. I swear, you know.
You're too nice. You're too kind, my friend.
Yeah, I swear, man. I appreciate you.
You're too kind to me, my friend.
You deserve a lot of thanks, you know.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, I just realized that I'm almost late here. I need to go because at 2:30 I do have an appointment.
Okay.
But thank you so much for coming and talking to me, Islam. And Zizzo, I saw you had to leave. That's okay, my friend. Thank you. I'm sorry that there was too many problems and I couldn't hear you half the time. I can hear Islam, but then I couldn't hear him. So many weird problems today. But thank you for being patient and dealing with it, Islam. I appreciate it. And Zizzo as well. So, all right. Well, come back and see me again, Islam. And
for sure.
And find me a good Egyptian recipe that I can try.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send you.
Okay. All right. And that goes for all of you. All right. Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
And yeah, that goes for all of you guys. If you have a good Moroccan recipe, send it to me. Make sure it's detailed. Tell me what I need to know. A Bangladeshi recipe, send it to me. A Chinese recipe, send it to me. And guess what? I know you're going to say, but you won't be able to find the ingredients. But I will. I live in a city with a really, really good international market. They have foods from about 120 countries. So probably I can get whatever ingredients I need to cook whatever food you want me to try to cook. So send me some good recipes. Okay? And again, I don't want to just get some recipe online. I want to get your family recipe. I want something special, you know? Tell me, you know, Everybody makes falafel. Everybody makes hummus. Everybody makes dal. But okay, but what makes yours better? Why? Why is yours better than everybody else's? Give me that recipe so that I can try it and see. Okay? Can I make tea? Sure. Yeah, I can. It's boring because you can't understand English. Well, if you don't try, it's not going to get better, Rana. Yeah, sure, Iranian too, of course. Give me your best ghormeh sabzi recipe. Food is one of my favorite ways to experience culture around the world. Guys, it's about time for me to go, but O.O, I wish I knew your real name. Yes, you too. Thank you. I always see you in my audience. And Lulu, I always see you there too. And Teacher Angie, I see you here a lot too. Lillian is always here to see me. It's nice to see my little Hello Talk family, you know? That's the thing that you should try to be developing here. Not just learning languages. Meet people. Make connections. You know? That's the best thing about this app, to be honest. You like kabsa? Okay, send me a recipe. Do I like sushi? I love sushi, but that's Japanese. All right. Can you guys see me now? Rana says he can't see me. No. How about now? Can you see me now? No? Still no? Okay, how about now? Yes? Yeah, so weird. All I did was refresh the page. Yeah, Hello Talk. So many weird problems. Please do me a favor and send a message to Hello Talk and tell them there are many, many problems happening on my live stream. The video, they can't see me, they can't hear me. Tell them, that there's some problems going on, okay? Help me out with that. I would appreciate it. Okay? All right, so I need to go, everybody, but I will see you guys next time. I have a voice room later tonight. Okay, I have a voice room later tonight. It's the afternoon here now, so I will see you guys later tonight, maybe around 9 p.m. my time. Okay? So you can join my voice room and come on the stage and ask me all of your questions about English. All right? Am I a singer? No, I'm a drummer. And I'm an English teacher, and I'm a cook, and I speak Chinese, and I have about 71,000 followers here on Hello Talk. Tonight, I think I'll pass 72,000. I've been on Hello Talk for about 10 years, and you can go to my Linktree. Please go to my Linktree right here. One moment, let me give that to you. Let me see, how can I do that? How do I do that again? I always forget. One moment. There we go. Where is it? Copy and replace. Okay, here is my YouTube channel. Here is my website. And maybe here. Let's try this one. No, that's not it. Where is it? Here? There it is. I need to put that down here so I know where it is. There is my Linktree. If you go to my Linktree, you can find my my website. If you want private lessons, you can go to my website and get private lessons from me. You can find my podcast. You can listen to my podcast. I have a new podcast. Go watch it. Go listen to it. No, don't watch it. Listen to it. Go listen to my podcast. You can find my YouTube with lots of videos. Please subscribe. Subscribe and follow. Subscribe and follow and share. Subscribe and follow and share and like. Subscribe and follow and share and like. Subscribe and follow and share and like. Okay? You can find my Facebook. You can find my Buy Me a Coffee. You can find my rock band. Go to my Linktree. You'll find all of that right there. Okay? And I will be back later tonight for a voice room. And I will be back tomorrow morning for another live stream. Okay? And I think I'm going to adjust my teaching, or I should say my streaming schedule. I need to change that this weekend. All right, everyone. Thank you once again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being part of my Hello Talk family. I appreciate it very much. It really does mean a lot to me when I see the same people here coming to watch me. It's even funny to me because you hear me say the same things over and over again. I repeat myself so often when I answer questions, but you still watch. It amazes me. It amazes me. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening wherever you live in the world. Adios. Sayonara. Ta-ta.